Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the Our Turf Football Podcast. I'm Dana. We have Sonia and we have Lisa this week. Kate's on vacation in the Tropicales, getting warm and comfy. So we're very excited to have the three of us together tonight. This was a weird week of football. I feel like I say that a lot this year, but it really did. We're going to talk about the Chiefs and the Panthers, and we're going to talk about the Eagles, and we're going to talk about all the kind of weird, wacky games that went on. We're also going to talk about Daniel Jones and my major confusion about what's going on with Daniel Jones at the moment. We're going to talk a little bit about the Lions and are there other unbeatable teams? Not really sure. And then, of course, we're going to talk about some coaches with some hot tushies, and not in the good way. I'm saying might be a little warm in their job seat is what I'm saying to you. So, all right. So, of course, I want to thank, before we get started, we want to thank our sponsor, Donkey's Place Cheesesteaks. They have 3 locations in New Jersey, Medford, Camden, and Mount Holly. But, of course, you can go to goldbelly.com, type in Donkey's Place. That's all you got to type in. They pop right up. They're very popular over there on Goldbelly. And you can order it and have it sent anywhere in the country. We are so appreciative of Donkey's for sponsoring our podcast. For 4 years, they have done this now, which, like I say every week, saves you from being inundated with commercials throughout the podcast. So before we get started, Sonia, how was your weekend?
Okay, so I worked, and then Sunday after work, I took my child to Louisiana State University. So that was an 8-hour drive.
Oh my.
And it wasn't bad though. It was just dark. That's the only thing. I kind of really wanted to see the scenery and stuff, but that's okay. So we went there, we did a tour, we had a great time. The presentation was really great. The video really made me want to run through walls and things like that. And then we walked around campus. We saw Mike the Tiger. We saw Tiger Stadium, and then we headed right back. So yeah, we've been on the road a lot. Yeah,
I have to ask. Did you have any Michigan gear on at all?
Not at all. We did not wear our Michigan gear, but I'm telling you what, there was everybody was wearing LSU stuff. Like all the people that came for the kickoff event, all they were in was decked out in purple and gold. It was really kind of interesting. And Heather was like, I didn't want to wear my LSU stuff because I thought it'd be cheesy. I was like, I guess we should have.
Yeah, no, they like that there, right? They want to know that they're all in from the get-go. And honestly, if you walk around a college campus, most of the kids going to school there are decked out in gear, right? Absolutely.
Exactly.
So good. Lisa, I don't know about you. My alma mater.
Is that the Montana Bobcats that are ranked number 1?
Ranked number 1, 12 and 0.
You know what? I saw a bracket, and it was funny. Is it caught my attention because I'm watching all the brackets now because of all the talk that's going on. Because as with, and I'm sure y'all get into it tomorrow night. I don't know if you have a show tomorrow night or not.
You're not having a show, but
okay,
still.
Well, then let's cover some of that crap right now, real quick.
You do it.
Sure, hit it.
It was crazy college football weekend. Okay, I mean, I know Dana, we were talking about some of the games were like sleepers and stuff in the NFL, but my goodness, this college football. And it was funny is because I'm watching all the brackets of the upsets. They want Alabama in this college football series so bad.
They can taste it.
That they're making Auburn sound like it's a number 1 ranked school this weekend going in the Iron Bowl. They got to beat they beat them in the Iron Bowl. They should be in. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. The upset. Ole Miss going down to Florida. It's amazing the way the whole. And you know what? That's what's bad with this SEC. The SEC beats the crap out of each other. That is what is because honestly, I'm sorry, it's the toughest conference in football. It by far. I mean, these teams just it doesn't matter records, it doesn't matter anything. And that's we were talking about that with the bowl. But then I'm watching all the bowls, because it's like one game, the Hurricanes are lost one game. One more game, they're talking about them being out totally. So it's bizarre on the strength of scheduling, how they're doing it. But then I kept looking at this bracket the other day, Dana, and I'm looking at it, and there's a Bobcat up at the top. And it says 1. I'm like, what bracket is that? And I was like, oh, my God, that's the Montana Bobcats. And sure enough, going into their tournament, they're ranked number 1.
Yeah.
So
They are Montana State. It is so good. And not only that, oh crap, I forgot who it was. Someone was ranking offensive linemen.
mhm.
Montana State had the number 3 is from my little tiny college.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
Very exciting. It's exciting for us. And it was exciting that our game this last weekend, we beat the University of Montana, which we love to do. And so 12-0. And so that's very exciting. You guys all know me. I don't know a ton about college ball, but let me tell you, I can talk to you about my Bobcats. So I was pretty excited about that. And I'll have
Mhm.
you know, I have a picture of Sonia when she was a teenager. We don't know why. We didn't know each other then at all. But sure enough, she has a Montana State sweatshirt on.
No, I wasn't a teenager. I just looked like a teenager.
You
That
did.
was Jill's. Yeah, that was Jill's first birthday. So my mom's old
You
secretary.
look like you're 15 in that picture.
My mom's old secretary is from Montana, and
Yeah.
so she had that and gave it to me. I
Love
don't
it.
know why, but yes,
I love
I
it.
have
I love it. So in turn, I sent her daughter number 3 a Russell Wilson jersey years ago because it had 3 on it. But anyway, and
Yeah.
we digress. So sorry for everyone. We are going to talk about the NFL. I'm just really, really proud of my little football team. So, like I said, for those of you guys who are watching over on the app that won't be named, and over on Facebook, come over to the YouTube channel, please. Join our chat. We already have Kristen, we have Camden, we have Dr. Life Coach is back. We haven't seen him for a while. That's so exciting. This college football is like MLB to cricket. Okay.
It's crazy. It was a crazy weekend.
Yeah, so fun. I love it. You guys, thank you guys so much.
It was a
for
great
joining
weekend.
us. Yes,
It really was.
It was so fun. But if you guys are watching at any of those, please come over, join the chat, chat with us. Oh, there's Darcy. We're just getting all kinds of full ups. So tonight, I want to start. Y'all need to explain something to me because this has been perplexing me all day. I listen to SiriusXM NFL radio on the way to work. I listen to it on the way home from work. Sometimes I listen to it while I'm cooking dinner. All they're talking about right now, Lisa, I might need your help a lot on this one. Daniel Jones. Okay. Daniel Jones, he was let go. He asked for, to be cut. And so he was cut. So then he went through waivers, but then you had to pay the thing. And I get it. We get all the stuff and thing. He went to waivers. No one picked him up. So now he's a free agent.
Yeah, pick that contract up.
And what are they saying? He has the pick of teams. He wants to go. He only wants to go to a contender. I'm sorry. Why do you get a say? I don't understand why all of a sudden they're courting him like he's, even Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago. Like all of a sudden, Daniel Jones is like the belle of the ball. So I looked up this. I looked him up because I was real confused. Why all of a sudden we think that Minnesota is gonna pay to have the Raiders? Maybe. Hey, okay, so hold on. I digress. So far this season, Daniel Jones, he played 10 games, 2,070 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a QBR of 46. 2023, only played 6 games, right? We'll give him that. 900 yards, 2 touchdowns in 6 games, 2 touchdowns in 6 games, 6 interceptions, an interception a game. Thank you very much. QBR 37. So I'm like, okay, I need a year where he played the whole season. 2022, 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Better year, right? QBR 62. What? Explain to me, Lisa, why all of a sudden Daniel Jones, because he left the Giants, is good again? I'm baffled because in our group chat, we're like, who the hell's going to want him? And then when Gardner Minshew got hurt, I'm like, oh, maybe the Raiders, they got nothing else to lose. I'm confused.
Well, I think a lot of it is agent,
driven.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's driven. I think a lot of it's like all of a sudden. I also believe that the Saquon effects in there that, everybody who gets away from the Giants is better.
Gotcha.
You could have that going on a little bit that maybe, and we all say it, sometimes a fresh start in coaching matters. Who knows? We're a quarterback starving league right now, as far as even trying to get a quality backup. The pick of the teams, I laugh. I don't believe a lot of it. I don't think there's that many teams.
Lisa, he put out there, he'll announce what team he's picking tomorrow. What are you, LeBron? Get the hell over yourself,
Yeah,
Daniel
he's
Jones.
trying. He's
It
trying.
irritated
Come on.
me.
You got to give Danny Dimes some kind. Keep trying. He's trying to keep that ego up, right?
Yeah,
But I'm
he is.
sorry. I'm still going to say it. If you're a Giants fan, you're sick to your stomach. I am sorry. How that GM and DeBall still has their jobs, it is incredible. Because I mean that Saquon thing, and they're playing that audio over and over of the owner saying, "I just don't want to wake up." You know, my biggest fear is, and I mean, when you look at the smug face of the GM saying that, "Oh, nobody's going to pay," oh my gosh. Yeah, and the thing is pretty much they had a choice. They had to pick Saquon or they had to pick Daniel Jones. They picked wrong. Period.
Yeah, they did.
Picked wrong. So it's who knows. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you got more of the Saquon ego going on that he'll be better away from the Giants. That whole Giant organization, sort of like the Jets, is kind of a hot mess right now. They don't have an identity. Coach has lost the locker room. The owner's lost his mind. The GM, is just has no idea what he's doing. So, as a backup quarterback, I would say, yeah, definitely. I would look at him as a backup. He's not going. I personally don't think he's going to be a starter.
Unless it's the Raiders.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, because that's it. Or, I don't even think the 49ers, where everybody was saying he would land.
They were going, okay, so Sonia, they were going on and on today on the radio about how Danny Dimes had to land in the Shanahan coaching tree. He's got to land in the Shanahan coaching tree. Maybe he even needs to go. They think that his style will fit. What style? He's not played anything that even shows. He had one good season and it was just kind of good. Like it wasn't a great season. I am completely baffled. So anyway, the teams they keep talking about, the Vikings. Why?
No.
Unless you're afraid Sam Darnold's going to be hurt. They were talking about the Niners because Brock Purdy's shoulder was a little iffy or whatever. Okay, whatever. And then the Raiders. Sonia, other than the Raiders, because I think he would start there because they really are kind of SOL right now. But where do you think that he could go? Because he's acting like he's going to go take over somebody's job.
He's not taking over anybody's job. I think maybe, okay, here's where I think maybe the Niners might make a smidge of sense, and not even in the fact that he has to be with Kyle Shanahan. I don't think
it's the
that's
weirdest
the case.
Thing. Yeah.
Right. But like having him with some talent, I think that would be a better thing, because he would have Kittle, he'd have Debo, he'd have those guys with him. And so maybe that might make a little bit of a difference, maybe, because in New York, he really didn't have anybody. So that's the only reason why I would say maybe San Francisco.
You know who he had in New York? The probable MVP of this year. That's who he had. And they just did nothing with it. All right. So let's look at some of the comments because, like us, our chat room is a little opinion. Section. I do too. All right. So let's go ahead. Hold on. So let's see. I love you, Sue. He's going to get $5 to be the third backup. I love that so much. Oh, so we have Sue also said Daniel wants to be on a winning team. It's a joke. So interestingly enough, Darcy says, no, he's not. The Raiders I would get because Daniel Jones is barely better than anyone that they already have there for sure.
Barely.
Let's see. Let me see. Where is Darcy also has, it's because some strange people think he'll get better after leading the Giants, just like it's a Saquon thing for sure. Then God love Camden. Is Daniel Jones better than Spencer Rattler? Big Red, where are you, friend? We need you. We need you here. So, but Sue has a good point. I do think a fresh start on a new team is good, but only as a second or a third quarterback. I
agree. Me too. I'm the same way. That's why I could name I could name off 6 teams right now that he'd probably be a great backup for.
Right. And that's, I guess, fair. Dr. Life Coach says if you're not going to boost yourself up, who will? It's a really good point. He's the guy to do it, right? Because no one else is going to do it for sure.
His ego's still right there.
Yeah. So Sue says in comments she heard that he might have already turned down the Raiders. I don't blame him if he did, to be totally honest with you. But I love this. God love you, Camden. Shanahan's too mean for Daniel. He'd cry. He totally would cry for sure. And then Bob just put 5 minutes says Daniel Jones may turn the 49ers around, but probably not. Probably not.
But
Probably
you're going to
not.
have Brock Purdy back in a week or two. So to me, Daniel
I think
Jones
this
doesn't
week.
make sense. Daniel Jones makes the most sense. And let's do that as a joke. Let's do that. We're going to finish the sentence, all 3 of us. Okay. I'm going to go first. Daniel Jones makes the most sense to me for the Dallas Cowboys.
Whoa. I was not expecting that one.
Because
I can
Trey
totally
Lance
see
isn't
Jerry
it.
doing that. I can totally see Jerry doing that.
Right. I mean,
He's
Dak out
petty.
for the year. Worst case scenario, Dak comes back. You got, what he just signed.
Vision.
I'm saying, so next, who's finishing it next? Who's next?
That's good. What about Sonia? So I can throw in there. Camden says Daniel Jones to the Titans. I don't think so. I think they want to keep developing Will Levis. I think that they're just going to let this year ride, keep developing and see what they got. And if they get nothing by the end of the year, I think that then they'll look into replacing him, but I'm not so sure. Kristen asks, is Dak hurt? Yes, Dak's out for the season. All right. So then let's see. He makes the most sense. I don't know, maybe a backup to Herbert.
I don't think he's going to be a backup, though. I don't think he thinks he's going in as a backup. That's my problem.
Well, he's dumb then, Lisa. God,
I'm just saying. Obviously, you want to start. You want to do the Raiders. Obviously, you want a chance where you could probably make some noise right now to showcase yourself. I mean, to me, it makes sense with the Dallas Cowboys because you got CeeDee Lamb. You can put yourself on a stage for another team. I'm just saying.
But Lisa, Dak couldn't make that team sing. I don't think Daniel Jones can.
So what happens? What happens if the Dallas Cowboys sign him and he starts winning games and doing real well?
Nothing. They just signed Dak. There's not going to be a damn thing. They're going to let him go. Sonia,
Delusional Jones. What was the question? So how did you phrase it, Lisa? Daniel Jones makes the most sense for Jacksonville. Backing up Trevor Lawrence.
They just paid him, though. He's going to be back up. He'll be a backup.
Back him up.
I didn't see it. I didn't see the Jags coming. That was good.
Back him up.
That's fair.
Back him up.
Good. That's fair.
Oh my gosh. So much fun. Okay. Let's move on. Because I don't get it, guys. All right. So let's talk about bad coaching.
What about Seattle?
We don't need Gino, and then we have
who's your backup?
Oh my God. Kristen Camden, what's the name of our backup? The dude from Washington last year. Why
you guys are all viewing this dude as a backup. I'm saying this dude wants to come in and put himself on the show. So
he'd have to go through 2 quarterbacks to get there in Seattle. Besides, Captain Coach Mike loves him. Anyway, so Sam Howell, thank you. Look at Camden coming to my rescue.
Sam Howell. What about Cleveland?
You think he's better than Jameis? I don't think he is.
And you got I don't know.
Look at her. She can talk quarterback. We got to move on to coaches, Lisa. We got to move on to coaches. Let's go. All right. So we're talking about bad coaching, right? So we got some coaches on the hot seat. So we've already had 2 fired this year? Just 2?
2.
Dennis Allen and Robert Saleh.
Yeah, Saints and Saleh.
So they've already been fired. How's that working out for you, New York? Just asking. Anyway, so sorry. And then what did he do? He's off helping Green Bay or something. I can't remember what team he's off already. Green Bay. For. Love it. So and then they
getting paid.
It makes me so happy. So anyway, so obviously Dable, right? He can't have a job next year.
Yeah.
They're saying he's safe, you guys. The reports coming out of New York saying that the owners already said that they're coming back. Him and the GM are coming back next year. And then that Monday night game, I'm like, I'm sorry. How do you survive that? How do you survive the disaster of the last 2 years?
Really.
I mean, at least they had the excuse of Jones being injured last year.
My God.
What if he's just pure crap? And now I keep calling him Danny DeVito, and I know that's not his name. Tony DeVito. What's his name? That guy. Anyway, I just see him as Danny DeVito. I'm so sorry.
Danny
He's
DeVito
injured, so
is
they're
gonna-
going to end up having to start Drew Lock anyway, which they should have.
Yeah. I mean,
it's great.
also, I saw yesterday, was it? Yeah, it was like, no, this morning. It was this morning that Josina said that the Giants reporter saying that Dable's lost the locker room.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I
how could
mean,
he not?
yeah. So he's
Well,
probably
yeah,
done.
those interviews after that game were not very confident
Yep.
and very flattering
Yeah.
for your coach.
On the
He's
radio
done.
this morning, they were talking about how the minute they let Daniel Jones go, the rest of the team decided they weren't playing to win anymore. So therefore they didn't have to either. And it's
Well,
like
yeah, they
it's
better
pretty
not. They need a
obvious.
quarterback.
They needed one before. I don't get it. But they liked him. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a great guy. I mean, he's a great locker room guy. People really liked
Yeah,
him as a person.
right.
He just wasn't getting the job done on the field. But then if you ask me, that goes back to coaching. And so there's no way. I think they cut the GM, they cut the coach, all the assistants start from freaking scratch. And that's really hard to do, but at least you're trying, right?
Yeah.
I think at least you're trying. Any other
Yep.
coaches? Sonia, can you think of another coach that might be on the hot seat?
Dallas.
Yeah, McCarthy's
Dallas
got
is
to be
coach.
gone.
But
He's
Jerry
done.
said this morning he could see that he could extend him. I think Jerry's full of crap.
But how
Come
many
on
times
now.
have we seen coaches get extended and then get fired?
Fair.
Right.
Fair.
I think his seat is definitely hot. Even if
Definitely.
his seat is hot.
Yeah.
His seat is
I don't
smoking.
even think you can use the Dak is hurt excuse,
Mm-mm.
right?
No,
They were
you
horrible when
can't.
Dak was healthy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they won after Dak was gone. So this week, that was the weirdest game ever. The other, I have one other. Lisa, who do you have?
I would go to Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. I
Okay.
don't know how
Mhm.
entirely safe he is. You could see like a kind of a, because he'll pull the trigger. I mean, if there's somebody better that he likes, I mean, if he courts, I don't know. I don't know if Peterson's time there might be done.
I
And
think
he's
it
dealing
might
with the
be.
same kind of thing. He's got Trevor Lawrence there, who you
Mhm.
put a ton of time in, and you put, this was supposed to be your franchise quarterback. Do you give Doug the benefit of the doubt and move on from Trevor? Because
They just signed him. I
that's what
don't
I'm
think you
saying.
can.
So it's like, so do we try to bring a better coaching staff in for him? I don't know how. Doug's won a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. How do you, and he was a quarterback. So
Mhm.
it's like, my gosh, it seemed like it would be a perfect fit. Unless other people are seeing things that from Trevor Lawrence that maybe I'm just missing.
Mm-mm.
I just haven't seen anything there that tells me that Doug's on solid ground.
Right. The other one, obviously, I think is Antonio Pierce. I'm not so sure that he makes it with the Raiders for another year. We'll have to kind of see how
Yeah.
that goes. I think that that's going to be.
So that was more of a player's choice to me. Don't you guys?
It really
feel that
was.
way
And I
last
think they
year?
wanted to give him a
Yeah.
full year. I think they wanted to give him a chance and see what he could do. And now
Mhm.
that Brady is part owner, he's not going to tolerate that. I think that will become
Yeah.
very loud and very changed very quickly. So we'll see.
Mhm.
I think that this is really for all of these coaches, Dr. Life Coach is like, it's like the dog sitting in the fire gif. It's fine. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Sue says, honestly, I think Drew Lock might have done well in another circumstance. I don't know. We all have differing opinions on Drew Lock. People love him. People hate him. It's just the way it works. This one is interesting though. So Camden says,
Really?
where is Ben Johnson going? I'm going to tell you. And Sonia, I'm dying for your thought on this. I think Ben Johnson cooked his goose last year when he went out and took all those head coaching interviews, had 3 or 4 teams offer him a job and go, meh, like you just Josh McDaniels yourself, dude. I think that he's could be a great head coach, but the fact that he went back, I think that that's going to give a lot of owners a lot of pause. And if the Lions win the Super Bowl, which I fully expect, then why would you leave?
I could see him leaving.
Yeah.
Despite I still could. I don't think that he would be as bad as Josh McDaniel. Like, I don't think that the other coaches, other teams see him in that bad a light.
Okay.
I think they see him in, he had a really good thing. He's got a great head coach. they really want to try and do this. So let's see. But if they
Mhm.
win, I would not be surprised if he's out. Even if they don't win, even if they make it very far,
Really good. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he's out. Where
Yeah.
would he go? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he'd have the pick of the litter if the
Yeah.
owners aren't mad. And then that depends on how the interviews went, how he explained himself, said, I'm just putting my feet out in the water. See, we don't know those inside conversations, right? And
Right.
so it could
Right.
be a totally different situation. I just found that really interesting. Kristen put in there, she's like, what about the Patriots? I think they're going to hold on to Gerard Mayo for a couple of
Yeah.
years. I think that
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
has put out enough good with the level
Mhm.
of team that he has. I think that he'll probably be just fine for at least one more full year, if not then another.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway. Okay. So I want to talk about some of these games just a little bit. So there were some odd games. Lisa, the Chiefs almost lost to the Panthers.
Mhm.
I
Lisa,
don't know.
your boy, Mr. Mahomes, the golden
Leave
child.
my boy alone.
I
He still won.
It was,
He still
they
won.
still won.
See,
Because
I'm telling you, they're playing with fire. They are playing with fire.
But they're a team, dude, guys, they're a team that can take a game off. They can take 2 games off. It doesn't matter until December. Until
it's
the
almost
playoffs start,
December.
it doesn't matter. There's still, even in the beginning of the season when they played the Ravens, I still will tell you, even if they lost that game, it doesn't matter.
Right.
This team's a different team when it's the playoffs on the line. I'm telling you, this team could take 2 games off. It'd be fine.
I will tell you, I agree with you to a certain extent, especially going into December. Because as we all know, December is all about injuries, either going into them or you're getting out of them, right? The Chiefs are getting Pacheco back. And I think that will be a huge boost to them. So that could be, but man, that game, I was like, this is not the same Chiefs team we're used to seeing.
I just
was
don't
a
think.
lot.
I just honestly think they just. I think they took the game off. I do. They
That
still
could
won.
very well be.
I think it was minimized play calls. I think it was just standard 101 handoff, throw it to the guy open. I don't see a lot of game planning for the Panthers. So I'm just saying. I mean, I'm but you still win. I mean, it's amazing. You just can,
Mhm.
To me, it felt like backyard football. Just,
It
let's
was.
put the play in the dirt and run it.
So it was the minute that the Panthers scored, gave the ball back to the Chiefs. Everyone's like, they gave too much time. There's a whole minute left.
Yeah.
There's too much time. They're done.
And what happened? I'm sorry. What happened?
It's exactly what happened. You're absolutely right. For sure. For sure.
Until that narrative changes, it's
Yeah.
it's
As
mute.
Michelle always tells us, until proven otherwise, right?
It's a-
All
yep,
right.
it's the
So a couple
truth.
other surprising games. The Titans beat the Texans 32-27.
What's going on with CJ Stroud?
I don't
That's
know,
the
but
big
let me tell
thing.
you, I benched his butt in fantasy football. That's what's going on with it. Although he put up
Man.
decent numbers in this game,
Yeah.
he just was not. There's something up with that team. So I'm wondering if injuries are starting to, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. December. Are
Mhm.
you going into injuries or are you coming out of them? And I think that they might
Right.
be going into them. So yeah. All right. So then we also had let's see, the Vikings and the Bears. That game was much closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
30-27. The Cowboys beat the Commanders. Don't ask me how. It was very strange. We had the Bucks, of course, crushing the Giants, the Lions crushing the Colts. And then we had the Broncos beating the Ravens. These were not surprised. The Seahawks Cardinals game was an upset. Technically, the Cardinals should win that game. That's 2 in a row for Seattle, 2 divisional games in a row, too. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, who
And
Denver
then
beat? Wait, who Denver beat?
Denver beat the Raiders. The Raiders.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought you
And
said
that's when
Ravens.
Minshew went out with the broken collarbone. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Ravens for a minute. Wait, Ravens
No,
played last night.
Raiders. Yeah. The Packers beat the Niners 38-10. Thank you, Green Bay. The Eagles
half
Rams
the
game.
49ers game. Come on. They didn't have Brock. They didn't have, who else did they have? Boza?
Don't
Was
care.
he out too? Oh, you don't
Yeah.
care, do you?
No one
You
cares.
don't care.
I don't care. Do I look like I care? Do I look like I have a drop of sympathy for San Francisco? Nope, I
All
sure
right,
don't. So
For
sorry.
our non-biased people, the 49ers had half their players out. So
Yeah. I am a unbiased reporter in the
he's not when it comes to them.
No, for sure not. The Eagles Rams game, let me tell you, gave me a little heartburn at first. The Rams come out, the Eagles look they were confused, and then boom, They just kind of
Done.
took over that game. And then, of course, we had the Ravens Chargers, which was the same thing last night.
That's a good game.
Yeah, the Chargers
game.
came out. Evil Harbaugh was rolling. Like, it was the Harbaugh Bowl, right? And so
Good
they
game.
were rolling. And then Lamar, and I was saying, I even put on Blue Sky, I was like, all I need is 6 points, Lamar. Are you freaking kidding me? And I think through the first quarter, he had like 0.5. I was like, no.
He was running a lot, though. See, if you would have had
Yeah.
if you were in my league, you would have won.
I did win all 3
I
leagues.
know, but he
Thank
would have had
you
you a lot more.
I'm
So it was
dying
good.
in my leagues.
I know, girl. I was like doing so good. I know I beat you this week, Sonia. That's right. We played each
Yeah.
other this week. I sure did.
Yeah. Woo.
All right. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about. I want your opinions on this year. To me,
Mhm.
feels less defined, less definite, right? I feel like, to me, in
Okay.
my opinion, there is really only one team that feels almost unbeatable. Of course, we know any team is beatable any given Sunday, but
Right.
I really only feel like right now there's 1.5 teams that are truly unbeatable: the Lions and the Bills, sort of, because they have their moments. We all know Bills get a little wackadoo sometimes, right?
Mhm.
Number one, what do you feel about those two teams? Sonia, I'm going to start with you. And is there another team where you're like, they're a lock for either their division or their championship, like for AFC, NFC championship or Super Bowl? Are you feeling any of that?
Mm, I'm really trying to think. I didn't really think about the Eagles,
They're
but
getting 9 in a row
they're
or something?
getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're getting there. They definitely have some weaknesses, I think. But once they're like on and firing and Saquon is doing what he can do, they're going to be pretty tough. I think
Right.
they are very tough.
Oh my gosh. That's a really good point. I think they've won 9 in a row, I think is what I read. And because the beginning of the season, we're like, what the hell happened to the Eagles?
Yeah.
Nothing. They fine. Lisa, what about you?
I think, like, dominance wise, I think, like you say, I'm gonna put the Ravens in there. I think the Ravens are a lock.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, I know,
Lock
they're
for what?
another
AFC
team.
championship or?
Yeah, I think you're gonna see a different team. To me, it's the same thing. It's gonna roll into December.
Okay.
And they to me, it's almost has to be for Lamar's year. I mean, because he's always in the MVP talk.
Mhm.
The Ravens are always there at the end. They
Mhm.
always get so close. This is the year they have to. I mean, they got Henry, they got
Mhm.
Derrick Henry just for that purpose to try to push them over the hump.
Mhm.
They've always had a pretty good defense. Total package, hands down, it's the Lions to me. I mean, how you can throw 5 interceptions and still win a game is just absolutely
Isn't that
unfathomable
insane?
to me.
Mhm.
If you said my team turned the ball over 5 times, 99% we lost.
For sure.
Right.
Unless you're Dan Campbell. So I think that pretty much
I
locked
fell
that in.
asleep on that game and I woke up and I saw that he threw a 5 interceptions and I was like, oh, we won?
How do you lose a
The
game
heck?
when you had the ball 5 damn times?
I know. That's
My
insane.
God. But I think the Ravens are going to be there at the end. I do.
All right. So a couple of comments from our chat. Dr. Life Coach says 2nd-year roller coaster for the Houston quarterback. That could be,
I
came
get
out
it.
so strong last year and is just kind of coming down to earth a little bit here.
Well, his
Yeah.
whole wide receiving core is hurt. Every
Right.
single one
Yeah,
of his
he
wide
just got
receivers
Nico
went
Collins
down.
back, and he's
So
for sure. Kristen says the Ravens came back to life, and that's the team I expect. So she agrees with you, Lisa. There. Sue says, to me, it's KC and Baltimore. As a Bills fan, I don't see it. That's because you're jaded. Sue, let me tell you, your
you're
team's real good.
jaded.
They're real good. Trust
Mhm.
me. She also
Well,
agrees with you
yeah.
about the Eagles. And then Dr. Life Coach puts that in there. I know people don't like this, but the Chiefs are still locked because they're a quarterback. I don't
That's true.
disagree.
I don't
I
disagree.
don't disagree,
True.
Dr. Life Coach. But what I will say is I don't think it's the same team. I still think in the AFC, they are a premier team. I don't necessarily see them winning an AFC championship against the Bills or the Ravens, but we've said that before. So
If that's the thing, if you have 2 variables there with
Mhm.
the Ravens, you sign Derrick Henry. What are
Mhm.
we going to do? We're keeping the damn ball away from Patrick Mahomes.
For sure.
That's
Mhm.
how you win.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. They addressed what they needed to, I think is
Yeah.
really what it is. Although the weird thing is the Ravens let teams get out and ahead of them and then they have to come back. You cannot do
Yeah.
that with Kansas City. You have to be careful. Kansas City does it too, though. So it might be funny to watch. It might be a real boring first half and then all of a sudden comes to life in the second half. Yeah. I have said it from the beginning of the season and I will continue to say it. I still see the Lions in the Super Bowl and them winning it. I just think that
Oh.
Dan Campbell has that team just rolling. And honestly, I would be so thrilled for your fan base, Sonia. I would love that. So I think that would be
We
good.
would.
'Cause
It'd be
it's
insane.
oh my God, I know, right? So much fun. But you
I
know,
got to
watch.
answer this question from Camden.
Oh,
If my team has Sonic and Knuckles, who's his Tails, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown because Tails is yellow and Amon-Ra, sun god. So yeah,
yeah.
Tails.
I love it. That's awesome. That's right. I forgot that your players gave themselves the Sonic the Hedgehog nicknames, right? Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, everybody. That is our show for this week. So, we'll be back next Tuesday night. I won't be here next Tuesday. Sonia will be in charge next week. So we hope you guys join us again. Again, reminder, if you're watching on Facebook or over on Twitter, you can come over and to our YouTube and chat in the chat. Although it looks like Dr. Life Coach was chatting with us from Twitter. So I'm sorry. The app that won't be named. But so I think that is really that's good to know because I didn't know that they could do that. So I maybe been lying to you guys this whole time. So anyway, we'll be back next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and we hope you guys join us. Good night, everybody.